January 23rd, 1570, Linlithgow, Scotland. A single gunshot, fired from a dark window, echoed across the world. It was the first political assassination by firearm in recorded history. But the story behind that shot began decades earlier. James Stewart entered the world at the edge of a storm. Born in 1531, the illegitimate son of King James V and his mistress, Lady Margaret Erkenstein, he was royal, not yet blessed, yet cursed. He grew up surrounded by power, but denied it. A prince with no claim, a Stuart with no future. He learned early Scotland was a land at war with itself, the old faith versus the new, Catholic versus Protestant, clan against clan. The boy will grow into a man capable of surviving such a kingdom. By James' youth, Scotland was ripping itself apart. Catholic monasteries burned under Protestant mobs. Priests were driven from their parishes. The crown could no longer hold the country together. James saw opportunity in chaos. He became a leader among Protestant lords, the lords of the congregation. Mary returned to a kingdom she no longer recognized, a Catholic queen in a Protestant land. She trusted him because she had to. He tolerated her because he must. Her secretary, David Rizzo, was stabbed over 50 times in front of the Queen. The Queen's husband found dead under suspicious circumstances. Her people turned against her, and James stood ready. The good Regent was born. For the first time in years, Scotland belonged to no queen, and so the burden fell to him. He ruled not as a tyrant, but as a steward of a kingdom too fragile to break again. James signs a decree, free parish schools, Latin instructions, reading, writing, scripture, education for commoners, not just for nobles. James visits courtrooms. He listens to peasants, punishes corrupt sheriffs, standardizes laws, forces clans to testify against violent kingsmen. He refused to rule by terror. He rejected both Catholic coercion and Protestant fanaticism, and for that both sides resented him. Mary would not go quietly. Mary writes letters in the dead of night to Spain, to France, to the Pope, to Catholic lords, to her cousin Elizabeth of England. James intercepted the letter. He reads it alone by candlelight, jaw tightening. Help me reclaim my throne. He closes his eyes. He knows what that means. Civil war. Mary escaped Loch Leven Castle after 11 months of captivity. She rallied an army of 6,000. She meant to take back her throne by force. James raises a gloved hand. Silence. A hawk circles overhead, as if the land itself is watching. Then he drops his hand. The battlefield erupts. James fights in the thick of it, calm, deadly, precise. Not a king, not a tyrant, just a man doing what must be done to keep Scotland from burning again. The battle lasted less than an hour. Mary's army broke. She fled across the border into England. She would never see Scotland again. Mary's arrival in England created a nightmare for Queen Elizabeth. Mary was her cousin. Mary had a claim to the English throne. Catholics across Europe saw Mary as the true queen. Keeping Mary alive was dangerous. Killing her was equally dangerous. James needed Elizabeth's support to stabilize Scotland. Elizabeth needed James to keep Mary away from power. Thus, a court alliance was born. The more he held Scotland together, the more men conspired to tear him down. They swore vengeance, swore assassination, swore blood. The more he held Scotland together, the more men conspired to tear him down. They swear vengeance, swear assassination, swear blood. Your life will not end in battle, nor by blade, nor by sickness. She leans in, her voice drops to a whisper, but by flame and thunder. James pulls his hand back. For years he diminished the prophecy, but fate was already loading the gun. No man's loyalty fractured quite like this. James Hamilton, kingsman of a powerful clan, once fought proudly under the Scottish banner. But Mary's fall shattered him. Hamilton's home seized, his land confiscated, his family imprisoned, his wife thrown into the snow, barely clothed. Hamilton fleeing into exile, hunted like an animal. He blamed one man for it all, the good Regent. The Regent is a tyrant, a heretic, a betrayer of his own queen. God does not always ask for peace, my son. Sometimes he asks for justice. It was not God who sent Hamilton to kill the Regent, but men. The weapon was crude, but in Hamilton's hands it became prophecy. One shot to alter the fate of a kingdom. For hours he waited, motionless, silent, praying. For the Queen, for God, for justice. He trusted the town, he trusted the people, he trusted Scotland. His fatal mistake. History holds its breath. And with one shot, the good Regent was undone. Hamilton leaps from the window, barefoot, breathless, frantic. He sprints through alleyways, slipping on mud. Civilians point after him, soldiers shout, but horses block the wrong exits. Guards mishear directions. Pursuers trip in the chaos, almost as if the town itself protects him. Some claimed Hamilton vanished like a phantom. Others swore the devil guided his escape. He fled into legend and was never captured. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. The good Regent was dead. Scotland. He died minutes later in the street, surrounded by the people he tried to save. Scotland had lost more than a leader. It had lost its balance. With the Regent's death, Scotland plunged back into chaos. They beat their fists against tables. They roared for vengeance. They swear to burn the Hamilton estates to the ground. Shops closed, churches overflow with mourners. Men walk the streets with swords drawn. Children whisper about curses and witches. They celebrate quietly in the shadows, while porters' prayers raise, but always behind closed doors. Mary sits cold English room. Mary sits in a cold English room, embroidering. An English noblewoman approaches her, whispers a single sentence. The Regent of Scotland is dead. Mary freezes. Her needle stops mid-stitch. She slowly looks up. A smile, small but unmistakable, touches her lips. Mary's reaction was described in many ways: shock, grief, relief, and satisfaction. The Hamiltons became the most hated clan in Scotland. They vanished into forests, caves, ruins, anywhere a desperate man might hide from a vengeful kingdom. Within weeks, rumors spread of a tall figure in armor seen walking the roads where the Regent once rode. Locals swear that if you walk past the house where Hamilton fired the shot, you hear a whisper behind you, "Justice." But when you turn, no one is there. Witnesses claim a horse appears beside the cathedral at night. It stands silently waiting. Its rider? An armored figure with no face. In the palace where he once judged fairly, servants claim to hear footsteps pacing, soft weeping, the words, "Scotland, please." Whether ghost, memory, or guilt, the Regent never truly left Scotland. The Highland prophetess speaks once more. You will not die by blade, nor by sickness, but of flame and thunder. The Regent had laughed at the prophecy, but fate or history had the final word. James Stewart is remembered as the good Regent, a rare figure in history, honest, disciplined, faithful. He died protecting a kingdom that was determined to destroy itself. Civilization is fragile, power is poison, and sometimes the truest leaders are the ones who never sat on thrones. The good Regent lived in the cracks between kings, held a nation together with his bare hands, and died so it would not fall. But Scotland, like all nations, was built on blood.